Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Commander, 375th Operations Group, Colonel Vincent Livy, welcome to today's official change of command ceremony, in which the reins of responsibility and leadership of the 906th Air Refueling Squadron will pass from Lieutenant Colonel Jason Knab to Lieutenant Colonel Eric Wolf. I'm Technical Sergeant Kyle Jackson from the 906th Air Refueling Squadron and will be your narrator for today's ceremony. The change of command ceremony is a military tradition deeply rooted in history and dates back to the time of Frederick the Great of Prussia. History reveals that it was not uncommon for soldiers in the field to be unaware of whom their commanders were or what they looked like. The formal change of command afforded these soldiers the opportunity to witness the proceedings and actually see their commanders. The Continental Army of the United States conducted the first official ceremonies in America. This was the basis from which the present ceremony is derived. Today, the primary purpose of the change of command is to allow subordinates to witness the formal transfer of total responsibility, authority, and accountability from one officer to another. These ceremonies have added color and pageantry to the military life while preserving tradition and stimulating esprit de corps. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of today's official party and remain standing for the presentation of the colors and the playing of our national anthem. Thank you, Scott Honor Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, please join me in recognizing our honored guests attending today's ceremony. Please hold all applause until all honored guests have been recognized. Joining us today, Lieutenant Colonel Knab's wife, Miss Carla Knab, and their daughters, Megan and Madison. Lieutenant Colonel Wolf's mother, Miss Veronica Wolf. The spouse of the Commander, 375th Operations Group, Miss Colleen Livy. Other distinguished guests include the Commander, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Colonel John Poole, and his wife, Miss Shelley Poole. The Command Chief, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Sean Andrews, and his wife, Amy. The Senior Enlisted Leader, 375th Operations Group, Chief Master Sergeant Philip Mullins. The Deputy Commander, 126th Air Refueling Wing, Colonel Matthew Kopp. The Command Chief, 126th Air Refueling Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Christina Rizzo. The Commander, 375th Mission Support Group, Colonel Will Cooper. Representing the Commander, 375th Medical Group, Lieutenant Colonel Ben Crandall. Representing the Senior Enlisted Leader, 375th Medical Group, Master Sergeant Callie Lucier. The Director of Staff, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Wing Staff Agency, Ms. Tammy Brown. And the Senior Enlisted Leader, 375th Wing Staff Agency, Senior Master Sergeant Lynette Banks. Finally, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to all commanders, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, family, and friends. On October 1st, 2009, as part of the Air Force's ongoing total force integration efforts, the 906th Air Refueling Squadron moved its operations to Scott Air Force Base as an active duty associate squadron with the Illinois National Guard's 126th Air Refueling Wing. Under this active associates construct, Colonel Kevin Jacobs, commander of the 126th Air Refueling Wing, the association's host wing, maintains operational direction of the 906th Refueling Squadron's missions and personnel. Colonel John Poole, the commander of the 375th Air Mobility Wing, the association's parent wing, maintains administrative responsibility for the 906 personnel. This association allows active duty airmen to work side by side with their Air National Guard counterparts to more efficiently utilize the KC-135 fleet, provide greater day-to-day capabilities, and generate efficiencies by sharing resources and reducing duplication of effort, while leveraging Air National Guard experience to help train and season active duty aircrew, maintenance, and support personnel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 375th Operations Group, Colonel Vincent Livy.
Good morning. Who doesn't love a change of command? I know I do. All right, so first and foremost, I was just informed that we have a Gold Star family here. Mr. and Mrs. Sear, thank you for being here. It is an honor to have you here, and we're blessed to have you. So the Sear family. Okay, so as my first official act of this ceremony, I'm going to mess up all the protocol stuff. Sorry, guys. Now, I respect protocol. I value protocol. I need protocol in my life. But sometimes you have to make your own rules. And for the last 27 years, I've always lived by the rule that if you have a microphone and a large group of people in front of you, I always acknowledge my smoking hot wife first. Thank you for being here, Little C. And now to the other DVs, Colonel Poole, Miss Shelley, Chief Andrews, Amy, my ride or die, Chief Mullins, Colonel Cooper, Colonel Cobb, and Chief Rizzo, thank you for being here. It means a lot to us. And to our total force, friends and partners, thank you for being here and taking time out of your day to celebrate this occasion with us. I really want to thank the Knab family and the Wolf family and all of their extended friends and family, thank you for being here. An airman doesn't serve alone, the entire family does. And so I know that these two incredible leaders would not be up here today if it wasn't for you guys. So another round of applause for the families, please. And last, but certainly not least, to the men and women of the 906 ARS, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being such an awesome squadron, and thank you for standing tall, standing proud, and standing in a perfect rectangle right there. Yeah, okay. This ceremony is really for you. And so with that being said, please put the formation at ease. Okay, so I put you at ease because I want you guys to hear this. This is for you. So shake it out, move around a little bit. You're going to be at attention a lot, but I want you to hear the words that I say. Because the change of command is a pivotal moment for a squadron. The seamless transition of responsibility from one commander to another is not something to be taken lightly. And for all of you in the audience today, take a second to look around and reflect on this magnificent occasion. In this incredible venue, a hangar where active duty and guard maintainers together transform red X's into offloads, and officers are transformed into commanders. Look at this incredible machine behind me. The backbone of our tanker fleet, the heart of nuclear deterrence, and the reach in global reach. And look at the formation of airmen behind you. They are the fuel that fuels this refueler. Look at our flag and think about everything it represents. Think about how the national anthem made you feel. And now think about the missions that these airmen and this plane might be called upon to execute in defense of this flag. And I ask that each and every one of you think about the traditions and symbols that you see before you today and reflect on what you are about to witness. For a new commander will be born today. And the second his hand touches the guidon, it will be his responsibility to pray for peace, but prepare for war. He must hug his airmen with one arm and sharpen the blade with the other. I ask that you let this profound occasion wash over you and you realize that this is a big deal. And I hope that you are all as honored to be a part of this ceremony as I am. Lieutenant Colonel Knab. Doesn't even sound right. Knab. You should be extremely proud. From the vision you set to the benchmarks you met, from the leadership you showed to the booms you stowed, you, sir, have taken this squadron to the next level. You're a gum-chewing, boom-wielding, airman-loving, mission-focused, real-deal, Holyfield badass commander with all the traits that we want to see in a leader. Now, some people shy away from talking about the W word, winning, but not you. You cultivated a winning culture, surrounded with a winning lexicon, and translated into action. You absolutely shined during your command, and you crushed your nuclear operational readiness inspection, and that's a big deal. You sent your airmen forward, executing 16,000 combat hours in CENTCOM. Nobody and I mean nobody, kicks ass without tanker gas. You didn't come to command this high-performing squadron by chance. You were chosen because you, like your people, are the best in the Air Force. But I wanted to highlight something equally, if not more important, than any of those quantifiable achievements: building and maintaining a cohesive team of total force airmen. The 906 and 108th work together so seamlessly that your blended crews are indistinguishable from each other. One team, one fight. And you don't get that type of cohesion without establishing a clear purpose, promoting open communication, fostering trust and respect, and encouraging unity and shared ownership. This does not happen without a strong leader willing to devote his efforts to team building. You did that, Knab. That was you. I thank you again for your legacy and impact, and it is with pride and a bit of sadness that we say goodbye to Knab. But fortunately, the man sitting to his left is more than ready for this job. Lieutenant Colonel Wolf, I know you are the precise man for the job because you have already demonstrated incredible capability as a 906 operations officer, and you have vast experience in the tanker world. Eric is a command pilot with more than 3,500 hours in the KC-135, and almost 2,000 of those were in combat. Think about that. And while stationed in the 613th Air Operations Center in Hawaii, Eric was responsible for training the Japanese Air Operations Center to integrate with ours. When MacDill failed their nuclear operation readiness inspection, he was the guy called in to right the ship. And he did, with glowing praise. He wrote the COVID policy for the entire ops group at MacDill so that they could sustain KC-135 and C-40 operations. Ops never stopped because of Eric. And here at Scott, he is responsible for the 906 being the first TFA squadron to have every pilot, every boom, and every maintainer 100% trained in hot pit refueling. Eric has been preparing for this role his entire career, and now he is being figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered a chance to do a very special thing, unique to him and fitted for his talents. And it is our blessing that he is well prepared and highly qualified for what could become his finest hour. I am confident Lieutenant Colonel Wolf will take his team beyond what we ever imagined and help usher in a new era of agile combat support for air refueling. So Eric, let's go ahead and knock out your initial feedback right now. This is the perfect place to do it. And so to the squadron, listen up, because he's going to need your help to succeed. I want to set expectations right here, in person, in front of the entire squadron and your mom. Here are my 5 expectations. Number 1, lead, don't manage. Managing is easy, leading is tough. Make the tough calls, do the hard things, be the leader your squadron needs you to be. Your loyalty should belong to the squadron and all of the airmen in it. But your oath belongs to the service and to the flag that we have sworn to protect. Lead, don't manage. Number 2, don't command scared. There will be no shortage of people telling you it's too risky. What will people think? How will it look? I want you to forget all of that. If you are doing the right thing for the people and for the mission, you're on the right track. So shovel that coal. Full steam ahead. Do the thing, take the risk, be bold, go faster. Don't be afraid to fail, and never, ever command scared. Number 3, create powerful moments for your airmen and their families. Do not rely on the Air Force machine to create those moments. Without your action, the thrilling highs and the emotional lows of promotions, assignments, and other peaks and valleys will be communicated via an automated email or a cold notification. You have to be the author of those powerful moments for your airmen. You're the commander. It's up to you now. Number 4, deliberate leadership is key. You must lead deliberately. And what do I mean by that? Be deliberate in everything you do, from your daily calendar to your strategic plan and everything in between. If you aren't deliberate, the events of the day, week, or month will control you rather than you controlling them. Be deliberate in the personal and professional development of your airmen. You have to make it a priority. If you're not deliberate, there will always be another fire to put out that is more important. There will always be an alligator closer to the boat. Take the time to do the things that you know are important and stick to your guns. Deliberate leadership is key. And if you want to lead deliberately, there's one more thing you have to know. Number 5, the commander should only do what only the commander can do. Do not get pulled down in the weeds. Do not focus on the problems of today. Do not fall victim to the trap of crunching numbers, writing reports, or immersing yourself in today's hot task. You should always be looking up and forward and into the future. You must set conditions for success beyond your term. Like the old Greek proverb says, plant trees whose shade you will never see. Without your intervention, institutional pressures to track, report, and dive into the details will steal all of your time. Delegate, 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 and if needed, delete. With that being said, you can delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. You're the commander. Eric, if you lead your airmen, never command scared, create powerful moments, be deliberate in everything you do, and keep your eyes on the horizon, I know the 906 will thrive under your leadership. You've got this, and I've got you. In closing, Knab, you've been an inspiration to your unit, and you're on to bigger adventures as a Colonel Select. I'll teach you the secret handshake later. We're going to miss you, but I can't wait to see what you do next. And Lieutenant Colonel Wolf, I am confident you have what it takes to assume your new role as commander. You're ready. Thank you for giving me the honor of presiding over this change of command, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for the 906th. Gents, let's pass this guide on so you can get down to business, because your business is booming.
Thank you, Colonel Livy. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Livy presents Lieutenant Colonel Knab with the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by the Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Jason T. Knab for outstanding service 7 July 2020 to 4 August 2023. Lieutenant Colonel Jason Knab distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 906th Air Refueling Squadron, 375th Operations Group, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. During this period, Colonel Knab executed the Air Force's Total Force Association initiatives, leading 147 airmen, contractors, and civilians in a fully integrated flying, maintenance, scheduling, and training operation. He guided his team in executing over 2,450 sorties, 9,860 flight hours, and 6 readiness exercises, culminating in the 126th Air Refueling Wing acing its 2022 Nuclear Operational Readiness Inspection, and garnering a 99% readiness rate. Additionally, Colonel Knab oversaw 45 aircrew and more than 300 maintenance personnel deploy in support of United States Central Command, executing 16,000 combat hours. Finally, Colonel Knab inspired the maintenance group's airmen to achieve an 89% mission capability rate, the best in the Mobility Air Force, garnering the Wing's 2022 Outstanding Unit Award and the Logistics Activity Award wins. As acting 126th Operations Group Commander, he unified 245 active duty and Air National Guard airmen across 3 squadrons, creating a successful Total Force Association and setting a new benchmark for Air Force-wide collaboration. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Knab reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, Colonel Livy. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 906 Air Refueling Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Jason Knab.
Check. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. It is an absolute honor to be standing here. True Commander, please put the flight at ease. Honor Guard, thank you for your outstanding service. I'm not sure if you're still here or not. You probably made a quick exit, but thank you for being here today to support the Change Command. Lieutenant Metcalf, Master Sergeant Ime, your team did an outstanding job putting this together. I know it's a lot of work, but nice job on your first big event. Yeah, let's get a round of applause for that. To the 25 906ers deployed overseas, we pray for your safe return and are proud to honor you today wearing this uniform. Above all, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior. With him, anything is possible. Colonel Poole and Mrs. Poole, Colonel Kopp, Colonel Livy and Mrs. Livy, Colonel Cooper, Chief Andrews and Mrs. Andrews, Chief Rizzo, and all other 126th, 375th Group Commanders, Squadron Commanders, Chiefs, First Sergeants, honored guests, family and friends, thank you for being here today to support us. It has been an absolute blast and honor serving as a 906 Commander. Nothing is better than serving in a Total Force Association. Having the privilege to integrate every day with the Illinois Air National Guard. Our partnerships and relationships are what make us a strong fighting force. In the past 2 years, our Total Force team has done so much. They've achieved over 750 combat missions, 55 coronets, 8,000, actually over 9,000 flight hours, supporting global air refueling, aeromedical evacuation, and nuclear deterrence. We also have welcomed in 12 babies, promoted 35 airmen, and retired 5 great Americans. Team 906, all of these efforts and more continue to exude excellence, confirming that the 126th Air Refueling Wing and 906 ARS is the benchmark Total Force Association and Center of Excellence. As I look into the hangar today, I see a lot of people that have influenced my career. Phil and Debbie Sear, thank you for being here today. You've had more of an influence on me than you think. Thank you. To all my Total Force bosses in the past 2 years, 6 wing commanders, 6 group commanders, thank you for trusting me to lead Team 906. Colonel Livy, thank you for your kind word this morning. My speech will not be as long as yours. And I know there's bets out there about it, okay? But honestly, thank you for being here. Your leadership is energetic. It is fearless. And your approach to leadership was challenging but rewarding. And I really appreciate all the advice and all the conversations that we've had in the last year. Thank you. To my fellow squadron commanders that are out here, I see you in the audience, active duty and Air National Guard. It has been a wild ride serving in command. But thank you for being such outstanding leaders, and thank you for your guidance and your continued friendship. Triad, one's behind me here. Senior McGinnis. Sorry you had to stand at parade rest this whole time. Master Sergeant Thompson, my acting First Sergeant, Master Sergeant Ime. Thank you three for being incredible. Thank you for being the key pieces to this squadron. Without you, this would have been really impossible. Your advice, and let's be honest, sometimes very, very blunt honesty was always on point. To my mentors, Colonel Retired Heathman, I know he can't be here today, but he's listening from Cape Cod. Colonel Robinson, who's slaying it away at the Pentagon, and so many more. Thank you for supporting my family every day and challenging me to lead boldly. Your support to me and the Total Force team was always evident. To my key spouses, don't want to forget them because they are killing it. Leslie, Brooke, Vinay, Molly, thank you for your continued support to the spouses and families of Team 906. All right, 906. To the men and women of the 906, and I'll include the 126, you guys rock. Thank you for serving your country and allowing me to fight for you every day. If I had more time and it wasn't so darn hot in this place, I would run around this entire hangar and high-five each and every one of you, and you know I'd do it. Keep pushing the limits. Challenge people. Crush the mission. Know this, as General Minahan has said many times, the tanker is the key to the joint force maneuver. Yes, you, each and every one of you, are the key piece to the strategic puzzle. You all will defend freedom at some point, and we will be triumphant during these hard times. This is where it gets hard. I'm not going to lose it. Mom and Dad, thank you for raising me to be the man I am today. You taught me the importance of service, faith, family, I'm going to lose it, and people. You have been my confidants when times are tough, and you've been my biggest supporters and biggest fans when celebrations are in order. I love you too immensely. Please accept these tokens of my gratitude. My sister Stephanie and niece Scarlett, thank you so much from traveling from OHIO and always supporting Carla, the girls, and myself. I love you guys so much, and it's been a pleasure being so close to you these last few years. Finally, my wife Carla, daughters Megan and Madison, thank you for your love, your patience with me, and sacrifice. Without you, the last 3 years would have been impossible. You three have always been by my side, and I cannot express in words today how much I care for you and how much I'm thankful. Start out with Carla. You are an incredible wife and command spouse. I am amazed how you can raise a family while putting up with my crap and coffee-fueled energy day in, day out. The front office knows what I'm talking about. Your superhero determination, driven by faith, family, and patriotism, elevated the 906 spouses and families. We were so lucky to have your compassionate leadership these last 2 years. For my two amazing daughters, Megan and Madison, aka the M&M's Tornado Twins and Scuba Buddies. Megan, your humor, high energy, and keen ability to care for people is absolutely infectious. You have no idea how impactful you've been these last 2 years to me every day as a leader. Thank you for always being there for me and reminding me that my profession is to teach people how to pass gas with lethal accuracy. Madison, your athletic abilities, intelligence, and persistent strategic thinking always kept me on my toes. Thank you for always asking, "But why, Dad?" That was every night, by the way. Most importantly, thank you for reorganizing my office every time you visited, totally fooling everyone in the office that I was actually perfectly organized in the chaos of command. It's all you. Carla and girls, please accept these tokens of my gratitude for everything you've done. All right, and lastly, and most importantly, Eric, yes, I'm looking at you. You will now have command of the 906, and it's going to be awesome. Well, once I let go of the guidon, Colonel Libby's going to rip it out of my hands. The 906 is incredible. They will continue to make you proud, and they will exceed all your expectations. I'm extremely excited for you, and I have no doubt at all that you are the right person at the right time for this job. Carla, girls, Megan and Madison and I wish you all the best. Godspeed. And remember, like Colonel Libby said, no one kicks ass without tanker gas. No one. Thank you. Make sure I see you. You're good.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Knab. Lieutenant Colonel Knab will now receive his final salute as the commander of the 906th Air Refueling Squadron. Lieutenant Colonel Knab, it has been a great honor to serve under your command. The men and women of the 906th Air Refueling Squadron thank you for your leadership, support, and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the ceremony in which Lieutenant Colonel Jason Knab relinquishes command and Lieutenant Colonel Eric Wolf assumes command of the 906th Air Refueling Squadron. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Air Mobility Command, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. Special Order Number GSF-020, effective 4 August 2023. Lieutenant Colonel Jason T. Knab relinquishes command of the 906th Air Refueling Squadron to Lieutenant Colonel Eric M. Wolf by order of Colonel Vincent B. Livy, the Commander, 375th Operations Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 906 Air Refueling Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Eric Wolf.
Hi. Everyone, I appreciate you all coming out today. I know I probably have better things to do than see little old me do some talking, but while you're here, I might as well do some talking. Once again, Metcalf, Himes, I appreciate you coming down here. Colonel Livy, thank you for the words, and just to let you know, I don't know how to play to not lose. I always play to win. So we'll always rock and roll with that. And to the execs, if we can write down that the initial feedback has been done. We all know that we need the paperwork. All right. To all of the lieutenants and new airmen out here, I cannot explain to you how lucky you are to cut your teeth under Colonel Knab. I tell everyone here that every leader you will learn from them. Whether it's what you want to do in a situation or what you don't want to do. Being here for the last year and working for Colonel Knab, I've only learned on what I want to be as a leader. Oh, by the way, you can be at ease, guys. Sorry about that. The one thing that will have to change a little bit is I am not a caffeine-driven energy maniac. He'll come out of his office with his beady little eyes because he's been looking at OPRs and EPRs for the last 3 hours. And we're talking about flying. And then, of course, he comes in, and if we talk about T1s or, God forbid, Alaska, he has so much energy, I walk back to my office tired. I'm like, did I just do cardio? Did I just sprint for like 12 straight steps? And others. It's also amazed that once he figured out that I was the one taking over command, he did work just a little bit harder to try to make sure everything got set up. And honestly, I can't thank you enough for that. Go Knab, I'm going to miss you, man. You were your inspiration to the flight and to myself. And what you have done here will live on for many generations to come because you really have done that well here. I'm going to thank you. I do have to admit, coming to change of command is pretty cool. I didn't do a lot of these back when I was a captain or whatnot. I found ways to go fly, sim, and just do anything else. Because I never thought I was going to be here. Matter of fact, I ran into someone relatively recently that knew the beast, in which was Captain Wolf, and said, like, no offense, man, but I never thought you would be here. And I was like, no offense given, neither did I. But I tell you some people who thought I would be, and most of them are sitting right over there. My family, that I can't thank enough. Especially my mom right there, who was a single mother of 2 boys, and brought us up to be right. My brother, who went to the academy and was able to retire from the military and is now working at the Pentagon, then myself, who has made it here. But as they all say, we can't raise children alone. And I have my extended family, my Aunt Mary sitting right there, my Aunt Donna, who's no longer with us. And if it wasn't for them, I definitely wouldn't be here. But it just keeps extending from there. I have my chosen family with me, Henry and Nito, that were out in the fields with me when I was young, cutting my teeth, doing all my dumb activities to make me who I am, protecting me from the stupidity of myself, and to teach me life lessons as I come along. Then as we continued, I got my college family, who drug my happy ass through a degree I did not deserve. My paperwork might say I have an aeronautical degree from Purdue, but do not ever think I am that smart, because Mr. Andrew Faust right there had to do twice the work to teach himself and then me. So he really had to use the small words in order for me to get there. And if it wasn't for my college friends who did that, I would have been able to commission and become a pilot. And then as I continued my career, and I had my ups and downs through there, I've always been lucky to have the right people at the right time to help me out. I can't imagine, I got passed over for Lieutenant Colonel the first time, and I ran into Colonel Edwards, who's not pictured here, that made sure I made Lieutenant Colonel the second time. I made the command list to come here and to be the DO, and then I didn't make the command list to become the commander, but I had, once again, Colonel Knab come in and work through here. Life is too hard to do it on your own. You will never succeed as fully as you can if you try to push this on yourself. I did not raise myself from my own bootstraps, and I don't expect or want any of you to ever have to do that. Use your families. Use your family by blood, by choice, and by work. Because that is the only way that you will ever succeed as far as you could, and that is the only way this squadron will succeed, this group, this wing, the Air Force, this planet will work, and that's through relationships. And that is truly wanting everyone around you to succeed just as much as you want to succeed. And that is what I want to bring here. I want to make sure that whether we're active, we're guard, we're ops, we're maintenance, we're MSG, we're POL, we're finance, whatever, that we come up there with open arms, open hearts, and we try to make each other better. Because we have enough conflict outside these walls to try to bring conflict within them. So as I bring it to you, that will be my goal. As Colonel Knab has already set the pace on what it means to be a squadron, what it means to have relationships, I want to build that and continue us becoming closer as a family. As I work here, most of the time right about now on Change of Commands, you haven't been in the squadron for a while, so you talk about the history, rich history and stuff like that. But unfortunately for all of you, I have been here for a year. And I have the microphone, so I get to brag about you. Last year's been difficult as we are trying to learn the new A4 Gen system, and we're changing our RTMs left and right, the way we're doing maintenance with the upgrades to the autopilot, and ACE, everything is changing at a pace that it has never changed before. And the 906 has been at the front of that wave every single time. As we ask more and more out of our tanker fleet, as we are decommissioning one tanker and the other tanker is not quite FOC, that means that that burden falls upon us time and time again. And us being here has been a safety net for TACC, for CENTCOM, and everyone else all over the world, because they know without our ability, the part of global reach isn't global. And that is one of the most important keys to our Air Force, to our military system as we know it now, is to be able to touch anybody, anywhere, overnight. And that we've been doing that. And it doesn't matter, and these people, it doesn't matter how hard the ops tempo is. I have been at bigger bases, so when we have a lot of TDYs and deployments coming up, people's hands turn into little alligator hands all the time, and no one volunteers and picks up. Every time when I was a DO and something dropped, good, bad, or indifferent, there was a hand raised. There was a pick me, sir, I'll do it, I'll go. And we will do what the 906 always does, and that's win. And I cannot be happier with the mentality that we have had this whole time. To our maintenance people, I don't know if I'm a sports guy, but I know banners is good. By the look of it, they are pretty damn good. I can't tell you how often TACC has come to us because of those rates, because they know they're successful, because they know that when it comes down to it, we are going to get it done. We have high priority missions day in and day out because they know our maintainers are doing this to make us win, to make us accomplish the mission every day. And I can't be more proud to continue these traditions, to continue the level of excellence that we have, and to continue to build on our relationships that we have within ourselves and outside. Colonel Knab, taking the guide on from you, you have set a great path for our success. And I promise you I will lead diligently in our people, and we will continue this progress. As they say, no one kicks ass without tankard ass. Thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel Wolf will now receive his first salute as the commander of the 906th Air Refueling Squadron. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. Please stand and join us in singing the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. Following the ceremony, you are cordially invited to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Wolf in a receiving line to your left, where light refreshments will be provided. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the change of command.